Anyways, this year's Turkey Trot was, the temperature, the weather was very cold as usual. At least it wasn't raining as it was 2 years ago. Okay, count my blessings. But anyway, I did end up wearing to the race my warm-up apparel. I wore short Under Armour spandex, shorts, long sleeve moisture wicking shirt, short sleeve moisture wicking shirt, sweater, sweatpants, even some gloves. And I wore the Saucony Guide 6s for this race. But then I'd say about 10 minutes before the race started, I shed some of the clothing, I took off the sweatpants, and I basically just raced in the spandex, shorts, and long sleeve moisture wicking shirt. That's all. In past years, I had actually been wearing that Under Armour cold gear. It's the long spandex pants and the long spandex shirt. Okay, that was nice. It did keep you warm, but my issue was about halfway through the 5K, about like the 1.5 mile mark, I'd be starting to overheat. And in a 5K, that is not what you want to have happen. So I decided to travel a little lighter, wear a little less clothing. It did help overall, I would say. So I guess my goal going into the race, if any, it was probably I would like to definitely break 19 minutes and maybe break 18. There's always that possibility I could break 18, but I looked at my cross-country PR, 18:26, and I also realized the fact that in this off season between cross-country and this Turkey Trot race, I had not been doing a lick of speed work, so I might have been a little undertrained, I don't know. I was just going to be happy if I broke 19 minutes, to tell you the truth. I started off, my first mile of the 5K was pretty fast. I crossed the 1 mile mark in 5 minutes, 30 seconds, okay. It's not my fastest first mile of a race, but it's getting up there. I mean, at districts and cross country, the final race of my season, my first mile was a 5:20 on that course. But yeah, it was hilly. There were a good deal of downhills. That might have contributed to it, but still 5:30 on a flat Turkey Trot course on the road, that's pretty fast in my opinion. And now here's the really weird thing about this race. When I started, literally the whole first mile of the race, I was hurting. I was really worried I wouldn't be able to finish well. I was actually at one point, it was about like 3/4 of a mile in, I was actually contemplating slowing down. Like maybe it was the fact that, yeah, I hadn't got enough training leading up to this race, but I was hurting. My breathing was actually really rapid. I had to force myself to try to take long, slow breaths, try to like get my running form under control because I was suffering, and the sun was extremely bright, shining into my eyes. So I had like tears running down my face. About at the half mile mark, I had my cross country coach. I'd never known he was going to show up to cheer me on, but he was there on the side of the road cheering for me, and I was like, hell yeah, let's kick this in. Basically, it seems as if ever since the first mile of the race when I ran that 5:30, basically from then on I just tried to hang on there, okay? The second mile, I ran a 5:58, okay, I barely broke 6 minutes. Now here's the little problem that got people talking at this year's Turkey Trot, okay? At the mile marker, at the first mile marker, they had a sign that said 1 for 1 mile, and they had a person standing on the side of the road yelling out, your time. Okay, that's all well and good, but by the time you got to the second mile in the race, they had no second mile marker. They didn't have anybody yelling out the times. So half of the people running this event, they had no idea they were on their second mile. Luckily, I had my Garmin GPS watch. It was beeping to me every mile, so I was able to keep track on where I was, take the proper pacing. But a lot of my friends who were running the race, they had no idea. They were thinking, man, this is a really long second mile. And then all of a sudden they got to the finish and they were like, wait, I could have done a lot better if I would have known that was the second mile mark. Obviously that's not my story, I had the watch, so I was able to do well. And as I said, the finish was at the bottom of a pretty long hill, so I had a very good, strong finish. My time. Okay, looking at past years, looking at PRs, I honestly never expected this. My time, 17:45. So I marked it down. It's official. 17:45 is my 5K PR. Broke 18 minutes. and it actually felt surprisingly effortless at the given moment. Like, I mean, as I was running the actual race, yes, the first mile was a struggle, but once I sort of got into that certain cadence and rhythm, by the time I hit the second mile, I was just flying, and it really did feel effortless. Maybe it was the runner's high, I don't know. But it was a struggle, but at the same time, it just felt as if I was meant to be going that fast and nothing would stop me. Okay, that is the first time by far that I've ever broken 18 minutes. As I said, my previous PR was made in cross country. I ran 18:26. So I was astounded. I finished 9th in my 15 to 19 age group. Okay, pretty well. The top guy in my age group, he was 19 years old and he ran like a 15:45. He was flying. I also finished 21st overall in this running event. I think something upwards of 5,000 people showed up to the event, so finishing 21st is very, very impressive. Perhaps the one thing that was kind of stupid of me, and this is ironic in its own way, I didn't wear my gloves when I was running the race, and it was very cold out. So by the time I finished the race, the part of me that ached the most was actually my hands. They were so numb. Not my legs. My legs actually felt very good. Last year I ran 19:41. This year, 17:45. Yeah, this year I improved almost 2 minutes over last year's time at the exact same race. That blew my mind. I mean, yes, the race course this year was different, was a different route, but I would say the difficulty level is the exact same as last year's. I mean, it's a flat, fast course on city streets with some uphills, some downhills thrown in there. I'd say the difficulty level was the same as last year, so I wouldn't by any means say it was easier this year. Oh, it was easier, that's the reason you got a PR. No, I think I've legitimately improved in running. All in all, I would actually say my running strategy has gone a little more gutsier, a little more riskier, a little more, tough. Like, I remember last year in cross country, I would be content with running my first mile of the 5K in like 6 minutes. Okay, that was blazing for me. But now this year, I'm not content unless I'm down to like 5:30 or 5:40 for my first mile. And then I hang in there for second mile. I'm also in the 5-minute range. So I think it's all about pacing, and it's also about getting out there fast for my first mile. I feel as if after running that first mile fast, everything plays out from there. Like, I remember my first race of the cross-country season this year, I ran a 19:41. Okay, same as the year before. And my coach was like, you should probably be doing better this year. It's your junior year. And he was saying, hey, stay with the top 2 guys on your team. So I decided one meet, hell with it, I'm going to stick with the top 2 guys on my team. I did struggle, but I found out my first mile was a 5:40, and I ended up running a final time of like 18 minutes and like 32 seconds. So it was at that moment that I realized if I wanted to improve in running, above all, I had to improve my first mile time. I had to get out there quicker, get ahead of the competition, and hang in there. So I'm very happy, I'm very content with how I did this year in the Turkey Trot. I'm very optimistic for next year. Next year I would love to run the 16-minute range for the 5K. I would really like, that's my main goal. Now, the top kid in my age group who was 16 years old, he ran 16:06. Okay, he was fast. I mean, it was so funny because I got to the starting line, he didn't look like he was built like a runner. Like, when you see a runner, you know he's a runner, but he did not look like a runner. And as soon as the gun went off and I started booking it, he just blazed by me. It was ridiculous. He didn't look like he was going, it looked like he was defying physics and just, like, his stride may have been like this, but he was just like, it didn't seem realistic at all, but I don't know how he did it. So he ran a 16:06 this year. My goal is to run the 16-minute range next year. Wish me luck. I'll keep you updated going into indoor track season, which will actually be starting very soon, and then spring track, and then cross country next year. So stay here, attentive on my channel to get more news on my running experiences. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, please comment below and maybe tell me of a personal cherished running moment that you've had. Or maybe just a time when you broke a much sought after barrier. Let me know down below. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. And above all, run happy.